The other day I went to the barber to get my head shaved like I do normally every couple of weeks. My normal guy wasn't there, and instead there was this extremely young and very gorgeous woman. At first I thought she was a customer, but then she motioned for me to get into the chair. She said, "Relax. Don't worry. I'll take care of you." I was walking past this local park the other day at dawn. I specifically wanted to get there at sunrise, as it's kind of up on a hill and you can watch the sunrise, and this is very spectacular. There were 7 girls all dressed in white sitting in a circle around a big tree that's near the center of the park. They were chanting something. They had their eyes closed. I wasn't quite sure what it was. They seemed to be very relaxed, yet at the same time they could focus very much on the words being said. They seemed very much to be in a state of peace, so I kind of approached them without trying to disturb them. A lot of pagan religions worship trees. This kind of makes sense if you imagine a society before any state-sponsored religion had managed to take over people's minds. The tree is an obvious choice for a spiritual deity for obvious reasons. One common argument against evolution is that it violates the second law of thermodynamics. This refers to entropy. The law says that in any closed system, that entropy or disorder must increase. And since life on Earth tends to evolve into more complex forms over time, this seems to violate the law of entropy. But life on Earth is not a closed system. Life on Earth is very much always able to receive energy from the sun. If you put a pot of hot water on the counter by itself, it would be a closed system. Entropy would increase and the water would cool. But if you put the pot on a stove and keep the flow of energy flowing into this, it would keep boiling. Or you could mix ingredients into a casserole dish, put them in the oven, and the entropy of the ingredients will decrease instead of increase. The sun is always going to be there to give energy to the earth. Nearly all forms of energy we use comes from the sun. Even fossil fuels were once living things that were only alive because of the sun. Wind power and water power is also from the sun. The only forms of energy not from the sun are nuclear power and thermal power. From a purely scientific standpoint, if you were to create a religion based only on the most important energetic entities, you would have to put the sun at the center of everything. But if you were a pagan living in a forest who didn't know about science, you'd probably think of a tree. You'd notice that there were living things and non-living things. All living things would change over time except big trees. Big trees would be the same from when you were a child to when you were an adult. Big trees could provide homes for other animals and provide food for humans. So having this as a deity in a pagan religion makes perfect sense. I carefully walked past the chanting girls, and despite how much I tried to stay silent, they noticed me. They all stopped chanting at the same time, turned to look at me, and smiled. I just nodded and kept walking. They decided to close your eyes and begin to chant. I was able to see the sunrise, which of course is a misnomer. We are the ones moving, not the sun. She pulled out a straight razor and shaved my head like a champ. I asked her where the normal guy was, and she said he was her dad and he was trying out retirement. He decided to go on vacation somewhere nice and see if he could handle not working. I asked her if he was the workaholic type. She said he wasn't, but he just really liked to run a business. He barely got out of high school, but it was always very easy for him to make money. It was always very easy for him to start a business and become successful. She seemed to have been able to develop this trait as well. If he decides to retire, relax, and enjoy life, she'll take over his shop. She has 3 of her own beauty salons that she runs on her own. She said that this is very easy for her to start a business and make tons of money.